your labor force drives your company's success, and so does the software used to manage that labor force. WorkforceHUB Advanced is a web-based solution for your entire team, giving them the necessary data and tools, often right in the palm of their hand, that help them focus on their job instead of administrative tasks like managing schedules and overtime. WorkforceHUB incorporates accountability, enforcement, and collaboration in a cohesive package that increases your productivity. Let me show you how. In this brief demo, you'll see how scheduling starts the labor planning process. Then you'll see the timekeeping process in action, from punch collection to time card management. Watch how your paid leave and holiday process can be streamlined. See how easy it is to prepare accurate time card data for payroll. And get a demonstration of mobile location management, a feature that's indispensable for a mobile workforce. Efficient utilization of your workforce starts with scheduling. Managers and designated staff can use the scheduling feature of WorkforceHUB Advanced to build and assign shifts for the employees. These shifts can be color-coded, set in a repeating pattern, and include comments that are visible to the employee. When a week's schedule is ready to go and a manager posts it, employees are notified via the mobile app that their shifts are ready to view. No longer do managers need to field calls and questions from employees about whether the schedule is up yet. An easily accessed schedule takes one more thing off your manager's plates, because employees now have their schedule right in their pocket. Using schedules in WorkforceHUB also gives you a way to control labor costs. With the schedule as a reference, web clock, mobile, and the intelligent hardware clocks can prevent an employee from starting their shift early with the clock lockout feature. And for those employees that may err in the other direction and habitually forget to clock in, the mobile app gives them a little nudge and reminds them. This can greatly diminish the amount of missing punches your managers are correcting on the time card. WorkforceHUB also helps managers quickly adapt to changes in labor needs with less legwork. For example, if a shift needs to be added, they can create an unassigned open shift directly from their mobile device. Employees eligible to work that shift are notified and can offer to pick it up. This functionality alleviates much of the calling and messaging managers typically do when staffing needs change. And because employees themselves frequently need to adjust their schedule, WorkforceHUB streamlines the shift exchange process by increasing the employee's responsibility and reducing the manager's involvement. Eligible employees can view available shifts on their mobile app and offer to pick them up. And when multiple employees offer to pick up a shift, the manager has all the info necessary for approving the pickup. This includes a date stamp for each offer and the adjusted weekly hours, so the manager can see if the pickup will put the employee close to overtime. Once a manager approves a pickup request, the employee gaining the shift, as well as the employee dropping the shift, are notified that their schedule has changed. An advantage to WorkforceHUB Advanced is that it compiles your pertinent labor data into a single app where managers and employees can access both schedules and time cards. For punch collection, there are various methods for employees to clock in and out. The web clock is a fast, convenient way to get up and running with WorkforceHUB. Employees log in on a web-based punch clock that can be restricted to your network's IP address. That way, you know they're punching in while on the job. If you prefer more traditional wall-mounted punch clocks and also want to prevent buddy punching, WorkforceHUB Advanced supports physical clocks that use biometric data to identify an employee. The vision clock uses facial recognition technology to ensure employees aren't clocking in for each other. Likewise, the touch clock achieves the same results but uses a fingerprint scan instead of facial recognition. And if you have a mobile workforce, WorkforceHUB Advanced also has an option for clocking in and out via the mobile app. All these clock options provide a consistent experience to the employee and can be used in any combination that works for your company. The clocks can also easily be configured to track rest periods through dedicated buttons tied to policy rules. For example, paid breaks and lunches can be enabled for shifts of a minimum length. And those breaks can be unpaid when exceeding a certain length. And if regulations require a minimum lunch break for employees, you can use lunch lockout to prevent an employee from shorting their lunch break. These features let you build enforcement right into the timekeeping system instead of expecting managers to track infractions down manually. For companies that track hours in labor segments, have employees answer clock prompts when punching in. They can add a department or location entry when clocking in or transferring. And similarly, if you have tipped employees, they can enter a tip amount when clocking out. Time cards are accessible to employees and their managers through both the WorkforceHUB web and mobile apps. For employees, they can check and review their time card using the Approvals feature. That's a way for them to indicate to management that they have validated their hours for that day. If they did mistakenly miss a punch, an employee can proactively make a note, visible to the manager, letting them know how the time card should be corrected. All this is much easier than waiting until the end of the pay period, printing out time cards, and waiting for employees to get back to you. Overtime is easily identified on the time cards, but with real-time access and the schedule alerts features, managers can stay on top of issues affecting your company's productivity. Schedule alerts identify instances where employees deviate from their schedule with early and late punches. That way, managers can take corrective action with consistently tardy employees, or those who are extending their shifts and nearing overtime. Speaking of overtime, WorkforceHUB Advanced can apply multiple rules through its advanced configuration options. This includes the ability to enable overtime policies which only apply to a certain group of employees. For example, this employee happened to work over 8 hours total each day this week. This employee has some 8+ hour days as well, but they work in a state with a daily overtime threshold. With the advanced configuration options in WorkforceHUB Advanced, those differing policies can be handled. Automate paid leave and holiday policies so that you spend less time managing repetitive tasks, like telling employees how much vacation time they have left. In addition to some basic accrual policies that can be self-implemented in the admin area of the system, WorkforceHUB Advanced addresses complex accrual configuration options through custom accruals. These customizations can accrue time off incrementally through the year, and also account for factors like employment type, years of service, and location. This takes the responsibility of tracking leave off of management's shoulders and shifts the responsibility over to the employee. That's because the employee can always view their available and future balance right in the mobile app. And before they even submit that time off request, they can check the calendar and see if any coworkers have already requested the time off. Once a time off request is submitted, the manager is notified and can verify the employee's balance and check for coworker conflicts themselves before approving. Once approved, the employee is notified. Their schedule and time card show the request, and their balance is adjusted. All this is done without paper, transferring data, or pulling up a spreadsheet that tracks time off balances. Rules for paying holidays can also be automated in WorkforceHUB Advanced to address certain exclusions or differing rules for groups of employees. For instance, full and part-time status can be used to determine an employee's eligibility for holiday pay, or even the amount of hours paid. As you can see here, where a part-time employee was given 4 hours for the Christmas holidays. When it's time to run payroll, WorkforceHUB provides a simple way to review and validate the data by spreading the responsibility among your entire staff. Employees can indicate their validation of the time card with the Approvals feature, and their direct managers can do the same as they review time cards themselves. Missing punches, an unfortunate reality for most time cards, are easily flagged for attention. Managers can comment on their edits, and those edits are tracked and visible through an audit report. This way, everybody in your organization, from administration to the employees, has transparency and accountability. But in spite of the accountability and delegation, there's always that chance that something slips through the cracks. So, to make sure errors are caught before you send your data to payroll, administrators have the payroll review process. This workflow helps you check for outstanding time off requests, missing punches, and unapproved time cards. Once the I's are dotted and the T's are crossed, finalize the pay period so that it's locked from any further changes, ensuring it stays in sync with payroll. Then, either export the data or, if supported, transfer directly to payroll through an integration. WorkforceHUB consolidates the data you need in an accessible and consistent workspace that works for every level within your company. As the workforce moves beyond the traditional boundaries of a common office, WorkforceHUB Advanced can adapt while maintaining employee accountability. Punching in and out through the mobile app can be enabled for select employees. That way, those in the field can have their time tracked just as easily as those in the office. And if you choose to add mobile location management to your account, you can collect GPS data with those punches. Furthermore, remote employees can be associated with geofences, making it easier to identify when they may have punched the clock outside of their assigned location. The location data is preserved on the time card for the manager to view. But if a manager wants faster awareness that an employee is not where they are supposed to be, they can get notifications through the mobile app, keeping them aware of issues and managing by exception. Employees, managers, and your company as a whole can benefit from these features. Unify your workforce management tasks today with WorkforceHUB Advanced. Thanks for watching.